young man from Trinidad. His name is Shane Gibson, and we are at the Flamboyant Hotel. We are trying to give him a sense of what the beautiful island of Grenada is like, and we are sharing a little bit of his experience and how he is empowering young persons to stay pure. Well, it's really a pleasure, it's really having you here in Grenada, and I am very happy. I am a person who really deals a lot with young people, so a lot of times the young women, yes, but the young men, you hardly find a lot of them who are so positive and able, willing to preach the message of purity. So give us a sense of what you want to say to young men. Most of them, they would look at sort of movies and television and so on, and we realize that music also is a very powerful agent of change, and in many cases the change is negative. But you have a positive message. Let's talk about it.
Right. Well, music is very powerful, and lyrics and words in general are very powerful. Even when you look at verbal abuse, for a long time when people considered what abuse was, they would say physical or sexual. But recently we get to understand that even verbal abuse has equal, even if not more damaging impact on people, because words are powerful. There's a saying that goes, watch your words because they become your thoughts. Watch your thoughts, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, they form your destiny.
Right.
And so what music does, music basically is words on melody. And so when the young people are bombarded with these words on catchy melodies, they are repeating these words over and over and over. And obviously these words are going to form your thoughts, whether it's conscious or subconscious. And then eventually those thoughts are going to form action. They're going to want to do what they're saying. You understand? And then those actions will eventually form their habits. And as we go down the line, we see that these very words that they start repeating could actually change and alter the course of their destiny. And so for me, my goal is to give them an alternative, give them a positive, righteous alternative, so that the music is catchy, the music is danceable, but the music it also feeds them. It's not fast food, it's food that they could digest and it could nourish them and sustain them. That is the goal behind the music. And so when I give them new words to sing, like I'm going to reach, or I'm going to preserve, or no entry, that is supposed to help build them up and edify them in a way that this fast food music of today cannot.
I like that fast food music. It tastes good, but it doesn't give you much nourishment.
Right.
Let's talk about the No Entry song. I think that one is a very powerful.
Yes, definitely. No entry. Well, I have the
Yeah.
No Entry T-shirt.
What inspired that song?
I actually, I'm very passionate about things, and I was reading the newspapers one time in Trinidad, and there was a situation where a young girl was raped and killed. Right? And when I say a young girl, I'm talking about toddler age. And I read the papers and I started to cry, but it wasn't a sadness. It was a anger. It was that the tears was like, man, I wish I was in the neighborhood when that foolishness was taking place, And my thought pattern at that time was, if at any time I ever hear or see the police force put out a notice in the papers saying they want citizens to come and help them in whatever, I will be there. You know what I mean? And I will thoroughly enjoy dealing with these individuals. But then I thought to myself, what is the gift I've been given? The gift I've been given is the gift of music, lyrics, and so on. And I said, listen, educate them and let them know that they can say no, and teach them what it is about and how they can defend and protect themselves. And secondly, the song No Entry is also to serve as a mantra for anybody, man, woman, child, to say no to negative influences. And so that is how the song was born. It actually was a huge campaign in Trinidad and Tobago, and many people took note of it. I actually had the opportunity to perform before 18,000 people in Texas, because it was taken all over. The song No Entry opened doors to me like I never knew. Yeah.
There is another one I like called Miracle.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that one.
Well, Miracle is on my very first album entitled Liberate. Miracle is the reflective song. It's a song that makes people just kind of rock back and think, And what Miracle is about basically is to help people to understand that in the sight of God, once we have life, that we have hope, we have the opportunity to change and fix things, you know. And so I don't need to look at you and make an assessment of you based on your past. Your past is in your past. You understand? Who you are today is not who you were yesterday. And so when you look at me, don't look at me based on my past. Who I am yesterday is not who I am today. I'm a new person today, you know. And especially if you have come to have a relationship with God, you're a new creation. You understand? And I need not walk around with a ball and chain. I can walk free knowing that I have a bright future ahead.
Do you have a favorite of all of those beautiful songs?
I love all of
I
my
know
songs,
you
you
would
know. I love all of my songs, and you can't catch me picking one. No.
I think when it comes to young people and this idea of purity, and you would find I'm sticking on the purity aspect because it's very rare.
Yeah.
And because it's rare, it's beautiful because some people think you have little children, like 6 and 7 year old, talking about they have girlfriend. And parents enjoy it's like the child have a girlfriend, like it becomes like a normal thing.
Yeah.
So by the time they're 13, 14, they have 3 and 4 girlfriends. What do you have to say to parents when it comes to how you said that you didn't have your father with you? And would you say that having a father is vital? Speak to the fathers out there.
Yeah. You know, men are often, the men that actually are home with their children, they get a nice pat on the back, and they say, listen, well done. The fact that you are taking care of your children, well done. And I say well done too. However, this is the expectation. This is the expectation. This ought to be the norm and not the exception. You know what I mean? You know, when we need to see fathers all the time, but that is not the reality. So much so that when I was in the university, I would be heading to class. Sometimes I would see fathers bring their children, because in the University of the West Indies in St. Augustine campus, Trinidad, we have some lush grass and we have a lot of greens and yard space. So sometimes fathers would bring their children to play with them. And I would see that and I would freeze and just stare because I thought it was so beautiful. And it's so rare. And I think that's unfortunate. Men need to understand that this is their role. And unless they change it, the cycle will continue. And so I have made a decision a long time that I am going to be there for my children. But more importantly, the greatest gift a father could give to his children is to be faithful to their mother. That is the greatest gift a father could give to the children. And so I intend to be faithful to my wife.
Wow. Well, on that note, we are going to talk to the Mrs. Gibson in a little bit and see who is this powerful woman behind this man of God. So don't go away. We are right here at the Flamboyant Hotel, enjoying the scenery, but also getting to know a little bit about Shane Gibson from Trinidad.
I declare every second of this day to be devoted to the praise of my Father. Praise of my Father, take this day, take it over completely. Lord, I offer it in praise to you, Father. Praise to you, Father. So we say, hallelujah. 24 hours of praise, and we do it again in the morning. Hallelujah.
Welcome back, viewers. So this is the program of the Government Information Service. I am Ruth Roberts, and we are at the Flamboyant Hotel, and we are speaking with two persons from Trinidad, Susan and Shane Gibson. If you know Ryzen, then you know who I'm speaking about. And we are talking today about, I'm going to take a peek into this relationship and see how it started and what's going on and how what they have can help some of us have a better relationship, especially as young people. Welcome, Suzanne.
Hi.
And of course, we already had
Shane.
how did both of you meet?
We both met in church. We go to Portisville Church of Christ in Trinidad. And I met him the day before I got baptized. I met him. I saw him.
Okay.
And he's a good-looking dude.
You're telling
So
me.
I was like, he's nice.
Lord
you
is
know?
my shepherd.
Yes. And
Lord is my shepherd. I see what I
you know,
want.
and after I got baptized, we started to build a friendship, and he became one of my best friends in church. Yeah, and from that, 6 months later, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I accepted.
Wow. Shane, is that the true story?
That is the truth.
Well, and you are both his manager and his wife.
Yes.
Give us a sense of what that is like.
Well, manager for the weekend, just to make sure that everything is, taken care of, and he's on
Everything,
time,
everything.
because this is the first time that I've been with him while he's doing his work. You know, normally I'm at work, and I can't really travel. But this time I have the opportunity to be with him and to just really live in his shoes and see how busy it could be, because we've been in a lot of TV interviews, radio interviews. It's been tiring, but it's been a lot of fun. You know, so that was my role this weekend. As a wife, I feel totally blessed. I look at my husband and I see a man who loves God, who loves using his talents for God and loves people. You know, I feel blessed because this man is not just someone who just sings songs, he lives it. You know, so he's not just singing lyrics for people to follow and he's not following it. You know, it's his life. And what you see is what you get with Shane. He is my bestie. You know, I can't picture my life without him because of the relationship that we have, and I think it's because of the foundation that we built. Because we both love God, we want to please Him, and we wanted to make sure our relationship was pleasing to God as well. You know, so being His wife is like, I feel like is a dream. It's like a fairy tale, because you know I get to see. When I met Shane, you know, he wore glasses and he wasn't buff and all these things like he is
actually
now.
a geek, really.
but he was always my good looking geek, you know. But just really seeing the growth in him now, I'm so proud of him.
And you see, that's part of something that is really special, because sometimes we get to see the product when it's already done, packaged and in a pan, and they find other young ladies coming because now he is all of that. But they didn't know when he was, you know, give me a sense of what that progression was like.
Well, yes, I was slimmer, and I wore glasses, and I had a low fade,
Yeah.
you know, and I was working in a bank, so it was often shirt and tie, and you know, so the look was definitely a lot different to now. So there has been an evolution in the aesthetics, you know. Yeah, but I always thought I was always proud of my look anyway. You know, so.
Like she said, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
But when it comes to building a relationship of this sort, he's always out, and more or less you get to be away a lot. And the fact that he's such a handsome guy, and you might find many young women kind of let's say flocking him. Give us a sense of what that is like for you.
I think when you have somebody like Shane that you can trust, because we talk about everything. So, you know, I don't feel insecure. He has never given me a reason to feel insecure. So I know that there are women out there who would come to him and they might, you know, throw their advances. But Shane is very serious about his relationship with me and with God. So people know where they stand, you know. So I'm really, really grateful for that. So even though we're not going to be together all the time, I know that my husband is not stepping out on me. You know, I know that he loves me. And, you know, I trust him, you know, so I'm not on him and be like, every woman that come by him and watching them, or, you know, I want everybody to know this is my man. And, you know, I don't have to do that because I know who I have, you know.
So let's talk about faithfulness. I heard you talked earlier about the best gift a father can give to his children is being faithful to his wife. How important is that?
Well, first of all, for me, it came through a lot of training. And so there's an investment that came before marriage. We dated for 5 years. And in the 5 years that we dated, we had to invest in our own relationship to make sure that the lead up to marriage, that we were going to enter on the wedding day pure. You know what I mean? And so the white dress ought not just be a symbol that means nothing, but it needs to represent something, you know. And so before we got married, we were very careful. We had a lot of people in our lives, a lot of spiritual people in our lives, mentors. She had her mentors, I had mine. Of course, we would be faced with temptations, but I would always be open about it. You know what I mean? James 5:16. For those who want to read, James 5:16. You know, openness is important. Having people praying for you and being held accountable by people you respect is important. Especially when you have such a noble goal to enter into marriage in a pure way, you know? And so we did things like we double dated, you know, we double dated with people who were like-minded.
Right.
You know, so that, you know, we wouldn't put ourselves in compromising situations. We wouldn't go to the club or in a dark space and you know, in a little corner by so. No, when we go out